Hey everybody, it's Friday. Now, I'm trying to regularize, that's a word, I'm sure, recording on Friday when I'm going to go out on a Saturday because it's a lot easier. I just got off of work, I'm done, and I have time to prepare everything for the next day. And if I start recording now, then it's not a race against the sun in the morning, and also make sure you get on a video and explain what it is you're about to do. So I'll just do it here. I've changed up things a little bit. I've fallen into the habit more recently of just going out with the Sony camera every time, which is good, and I really like the lens for it. But last time when I went out 2 weeks ago, I was kind of lamenting that I didn't have a Sony version of the bigger, kind of more cinema camera, more purpose built for video recording, which I do have a camera like that. I just can't use that Sony lens with it. And then to correlate with that, is correlate the right word to use there? When I was reading this weekend, I've been reading a book every weekend, a couple chapters at a time, by a wildlife cinematographer who worked on big names and big things and wrote a book about it. And I was reading that. And one of the things he mentioned specifically was that he went out. He usually has somebody with him. There's usually him and someone else, a sound person, someone who runs the sound. I don't have that. But what he did mention is in his backpack, it was a camera, which I looked up, which is a very nice cinema camera. This is old. It was using 35 millimeter film. I think this was back in 2002 was the chapter I was reading. But he mentions having a Canon lens, which I do have, that exact lens, and then a wide angle lens, which he has actually a nicer, or what he was using at that point, I should say, was a nicer, like, cinema lens. So it's a zoom, and it's got the motor and the whole functionality from what I was looking up. But anyway, my point was, I thought about that and I was like, why am I not doing that? I'm sitting here going, boy, I wish I had the ability to do what he did, but I do have the lens like he did, and I've got a camera that it might not be on par exactly, but it's not bad. So why don't I just do that? And I always am kind of trying to balance between the really heavy stuff that I want to take that's going to provide the good quality that I want, and how much I can reasonably get out there. And like, not only do I not feel comfortable not being next to my expensive camera when I'm out there, so if I were to go out and take the stuff and then just leave it and walk back to the car for a second trip, I have to do that twice. That's 4 opportunities where I'm not right next to the camera. Not a fan of that. But I set up, I've got a backpack now. It's actually not a new backpack or anything. Funny enough, I think the first time I got this and when I first loaded it up was on camera for a vlog many years ago at this point. Anyway, now I've taken the camera and I have this. This is the Blackmagic Ursa Mini something. I don't remember everything, but it's what I used for a very long time, and then I put it away in a big old case over here, a Pelican case, and then I just left it. And I haven't touched it in a good bit, and I want to use it again. I'm ready for that. And then in the top part of the backpack is exactly similar to where is the handle? As soon as I can find the zipper here, I'm pretty sure there's only one. Nope, it's a dual zipper and it's at the top. That's exactly how it should be. Anyway, inside here are 2 lenses. That's most everything that's in here. Da-da-da-da. There we go. I don't have a zoom lens with a motor built in for cinema or anything, but I do have this. It's a 20 to 55 millimeter T2.8. It's nice and wide. It's what I use for wide angle stuff. I've used it a good number of times. I really like this lens. It's manual, but that's perfectly fine. It works quite well. I can put it in there. The reason I'm thinking of these 2 specific things, this is the 300 millimeter, and then I've got like the handle, which is the viewfinder, and the lens mount to put under it to hold everything steady. This is all that's in this bag. And I went, this is great. If I just have this bag, I can walk around with whatever I need to, and here it is. But I need a little bit more than this. For one thing, I need batteries. I got 2 of these. They are big and chunky and heavy, but they last. They are exactly what I want. I can shoot for a full day with those 2 batteries and not have to worry about running out at the end of the day. However, that doesn't solve for everything. Visuals are only half of the equation. I got to have some kind of audio. And putting the audio, I've tested it, I've been doing this for a few years now, putting audio on the camera means that in the middle of a nice, beautiful shot where there's a bird out there, you hear me going, or fiddling with the camera, or the camera stabilizing, or, maybe I drop something, or I'm breathing, or something. putting it on the camera doesn't really work. It just doesn't. I need a separate solution. And I already have that. I just, again, haven't been using it for a while. Second bag. Second bag can hold the batteries. It can hold all of my other stuff. I'm not going to drag all this out, but basically it's got an entire recording setup with 2 microphones that I can put over with a recorder. I've got headphones so I can monitor it. I can also put things like my telephoto extenders, teleconverters, that's actually what they're called. They extend the image so that I can get more distance out of it, which is super helpful. And if I need one that's not so wide, I need one that is wider. So all of that can go into this bag. So now I can have a backpack that I carry with most of my stuff in it. I've got a bag with everything else that needs to go into there. That's another arm that can kind of carry that. I have to grab the tripod, which is down here in dark. You can't really see it, but there's a big heavy tripod, and I wear the belt and everything. That is my plan. My plan is to kind of return to using the bigger, more specific video camera, capturing the footage that way. And the way that he did it, I'm modeling this after a well-established someone I look up to and respect in this way, because I've been reading his book and I'm really impressed by what he does. He said when he approaches a subject, especially for the first time, he starts with getting all the wide-angle shots. And then as he's doing that, he's training his eye on the subject. So say he's found a bird that he starts getting the wide shots of the bird, of the landscape, of the shots that he needs for that. And then while he's doing that, he's training his eye as to the movements of the bird, what the bird is doing, its behavior. Then he goes in for the close-ups because he's now dialed in, and also kind of like, it's a good idea. It makes a lot of sense. It's a good sentiment. I like the way he described it, and I went, I should be doing that. And now I'm going to try that. And this should hopefully work. That is the plan for tomorrow. Currently it's raining. It's Friday evening and it's raining. And it's supposed to rain, if the forecast is right, until 5 a.m. So when I get out there tomorrow for the sunrise, I may be mucking through the mud, but we'll see. Hopefully everything will be fine and we'll have a good time out. The only other 2 things I plan on bringing are a chair to sit on, so I'm not sitting on the ground like last time. I don't think I'll be sitting in the snow. It's been sunny all week, but I might be sitting in the mud. So I'm going to bring the chair, and hopefully it'll be fine. And then the pop-up tent. I got to find a way to strap that to this bag. But that's my plan for tomorrow. Different camera, different lens, kind of returning to it. I don't have the full distance at most with the 2 times teleconverter on there. I'll have a 600 millimeter equivalent. What I've been doing with the Sony has been more like, I think it's 840, because I don't have a 2 times teleconverter for that. So I don't have quite the distance on there, but I think it should be fine. I've done this before. I just haven't used this camera in quite a while, but like I've gotten some of my best footage out of this camera. It's good. I'm not going to complain about it. And it has slow motion. Or, it doesn't have slow motion. It has high frame rate, which then comes back at slow motion. So does the Sony, but I don't ever use it. Anyway. Yeah, that's that. Should be fine. We'll see. I think that's everything I needed to cover so that when I go out tomorrow, I can just hit the ground running and get into the blind nice and early. We'll see how it goes tomorrow. Just before sunrise this time. There are a lot of clouds, but it is not actively raining, so I'm gonna have to get on out there. Let's go. It's a good time out. I feel taller, physically taller, because I probably have about 2 inches of mud caked on the bottom of my boots. No. I'm staying rather quiet because directly in front of this parking lot are multiple people fishing, and although some of the people, especially the ones out on the boats, seem to think that that's the perfect time to literally start screaming, not me. I'm gonna stay quiet. So, I thought at first I get out there, walk a good ways. This stuff is heavy. I got to get back into the habit of this. Unfortunately, it's just heavy. But I get out there and I'm looking around, I'm surveying, and I'm thinking I could go further, but I actually kind of like the spot here. I think this might be okay. And then I set up and I get into the pop-up tent and I get everything set up and I look and I go, I am real close to the trees. Really close to the water line, really close to the trees. If anything pops up there, which is where I was intending, it's going to be real close. Almost too close. And then I sit out there and I'm not seeing anything for a while. And then in the water, an American coot. And I watched that one for a while. This way, across the water, went back that way, across the water. Probably got some decent footage of it, I hope. And I did the kind of thing I talked about yesterday where I started with the wide, kind of took in some wide shots, surroundings. I didn't see like a subject to focus on specifically with, the wildlife. It doesn't quite work out that way when I'm just on location going, all right, well, let's see what we see. But I did see that. And then I switched to the lens and started going and remembering the quirks of this camera, which, I can't record at the absolute highest quality because the SSD that I have for it it's not one of their approved ones that actually has a high enough bit rate that I can capture. Those are very expensive. I do need to get one of them one of these days, but the one I have does fine. That wasn't all, though. I saw mostly the American coot, and I'm really happy about it. It was fairly close. I got to watch it do a dive. I did my best to get it when it was coming back up, but it's very difficult to plan where it is. Kind of remembering how to learn the intricacies of having only a prime lens as opposed to the zoom, which I've now gotten used to. So I'm glad I'm back out with this camera and doing this, and I think it'll be good to alternate between this and the Sony. And at least I've used my very expensive camera setup that I haven't used in quite some time, and that should be the main thing. So I might do more of walking around and getting the idea of some landscapes. This place works out, especially where I went to. Staying, well, over there in the trees works. Too many people around the parking lots on both sides. There's two. The one that I came to originally, I mean, by the time I set up at 6:45, just before sunrise, I looked over there were already like 5 cars of people. And so it's a busy spot on a Saturday, that's for sure. But yeah, that would be good. It might be beneficial to do the same kind of thing and just go a little further next time. But where I was set up right there at the water, I watched the American coot going basically all along the brush in the water, the kind of reeds coming up out of the ground, and watching it through the trees until it kind of came out in the open. But I hopefully got a slow motion shot of it diving into the water, because that's always a pretty thing to see. So yeah. Then towards the end, saw a woodpecker. That was really cool too. Didn't think I was going to, but is this person backing in? Yes, okay. I just see a car in my mirrors and I'm not sure why. No, I think they're just turning around, actually. Okay, that explains it. Anyway, yeah, towards the end, I then pivoted over out one of the sides of the blind and went, well, I'm definitely hearing lots of birds, and I hope the audio worked the whole time. It's kind of tough to tell because I just set it up and leave it and hope for the best. When I came back to it, the batteries were recording, but my immediate intention was I pressed the record button again, which starts a new clip, so it didn't show me the time code of how long it had been going, but it did go down by several hours. I was out there for several hours, and the time remaining on the SD card went down by several hours. So I assume it recorded the whole time, and that's good. I one of the other reasons why having to set up an external audio recording produces better quality, especially those microphones are nice. But it is I hope it works, and it mostly has. There have been a few times where either the battery died and I don't know about it because it's, further away from me. I can't see it. I can't check on it. Or I just forgot to press record entirely one time. Got everything set up. Of course, it was the sage grouse, which, of all the times they make interesting noises. I went out on 2 days for that one, so I did have it from the other day, and I was able to just splice it in. But yeah, that and then realizing after I bought the whole audio equipment set up, this was years ago at this point, that I needed a way to actually sync the audio between them. Solved that now. So I got all set up, and my setup for that is to use a device that syncs the time codes between them. So it works well. I haven't used it all that much. I use it whenever I use that camera, because otherwise I won't know what... I don't know where I was going with that. I think that's everything, yeah. Woodpecker, chickadee, a little bit. Just a good amount of stuff out there. It's pretty good. It's a fun time. I liked it. Yeah. It feels good to be back with that camera, and I think it'll be good to get back to this regularly come this better weather. It wasn't too bad today. It was a little cold, but it didn't rain. Clouds the whole time. Could have used a little more sun, but it wasn't too bad as it was. Yeah, I think that's going to do it. Unless I think of anything else, that'll be today. All righty. Catch you next time, everybody. I just packed everything away, as is tradition, and then I remember something else, which of course I do. All right. Hold on. Just stop doing that. And I don't need you making noise right now. Yes, I understand. I need you to just stop doing it. Okay. There we go. Okay, one other thing I just remembered, as of course I took everything off and broke it down, I had a little once I got out there, I remembered this camera, the Blackmagic one, has these little control knobs on it for the audio, which doesn't really affect me much because I don't use the audio on the camera, but they broke at some point. That is a huge herd of elks. Holy crap. Come here. Just... that... All right. Well, now I'm glad I was recording. Nobody's coming. If I get this thing back on there. I'm glad I'm on a little side road just in people's neighborhoods. All right. Can you reset? I don't need this angle. This is not good. I guess I'll pull over in a second. I'm at a stop sign. Okay. But I can't just stay at the stop sign. Alright, you're good. I'm sorry. This angle is terrible. The camera got all bumped when I was trying to put it back in there. I did not expect to see elk. That was cool. Just a big herd of them in somebody's front yard. Looked to be all females. I did not see any horns, but then again, I don't know. I mean, antlers. But I don't know if this time of year they would have shed them. That was unexpected. Cool. Lost my train of thought entirely. So I had a bit of a panic moment with these little buttons on the camera. They've broken before because they're not permanently attached. They're just like kind of stuck on, and they are flimsy and just kind of come off, unfortunately. So they did at one point. They broke, but I managed to find them. Like while I was out, or I had them in the case. I don't remember, but anyway, I went, well, that's not good, and I emailed the company saying, I can't find these for purchase to get. And they went, what's your address? We'll send you new ones. No problem. Which, that's fair. It's 2 little pieces of plastic for a $6,000 camera, so that's nice. Now that I don't have directions, I don't know where I'm going. Let's try this way. I think this might be right. Anyway. I've lost one. That was the whole purpose of it. I saw that, like, they stay on pretty well on their own, and then if they crack, like mine did, they fall off real easy. So mine cracked and they fell off, but I super glued them back together. I did not glue them onto the camera. I just glued them together where the crack is. But they obviously don't stay on. So I've lost at least one of those. I noticed it at the end after all the recording, and I checked the ground everywhere, but I'm in the mud, I'm in grass and weeds and things, and I didn't see it. So I lost that, and then I realized, I think I've lost 2 things today. Unfortunately, I think I could not find. I realized once I'd sat down and I was out there in the blind, I didn't have my bear spray in the little holster, I guess, the little pouch that it has on the belt. And I really hope, I looked all around, I didn't see it. It's bright orange, I should be able to see it somewhere. I was really hoping that I would find it on the walk back. And I did. It was over by the parking lot. It had fallen very close to the start, and nobody took it. So I still have that, thankfully. Anyway, that was unexpectedly awesome. Just a bunch of elk right there. Oh. That's a bunch of llamas. I know people have farmland. I did not expect. Okay, those are llamas. I'm seeing all kinds of things out here. I'm gonna go and drive now that I am no idea where I am, and I'll have to turn the directions back on since I turned those off. This is just out in farmland, which is cool. This is a state wildlife reserve or state wildlife area on a reservoir. That's the water that I was just at, and there's some geese just right across the street. Big herd of elk. Big-ish. I don't know, like 10 or 15 there, you saw. I hope so. I could have stopped for longer, but there were cars coming, and this is not a pullover. At that point on the road, there was not a just pull over entirely. They would have had to go into oncoming traffic to go around me. I'd rather not just stop there for a while. And anyway, yeah. Sorry about this angle for the last few minutes. I can't fix it, apparently, but we're done. That's it. I'm going home. Good time out. Can't wait to go back and see more stuff next time. Maybe I'll plan to see herds of elk around here, and I'll find a spot where I can actually be and see them, unless they come to the water to drink, which would be cool. Yeah, that would be really cool. Wait. I did a big circle. We're going to see the elk again. Hold on. Let's get down. Okay. Oh, I don't have the zoom. I have to take it off. Man, this little holder that I have mounted in my car here for this camera isn't actually made for this camera. This is the version 2. That's made for the version 1. It doesn't fit with the little control stick on there. Somebody walking. Go nice and slow. Go around. Okay. So coming up, it was along here before we got to the main road, just off to somebody's side. Like I said, look at the road here. I can't zoom in. I got to keep hands on the steering wheel. But if you see the road, there's really, like if I pulled off, there's quite a slant over there. I can't really get all the way over. Wouldn't really work. But there, I can see them already. Over here on the right, somebody's yard. We're just right across the street from the The thing, oh, there's somebody with a bike. They stop, take a picture. Just a big herd of elk. Go around you. Not a good spot for me to stop, but really cool. I did a circle. So that's that today. Good time out. Man. Didn't expect to see that. All right, until next time. Bye, everybody.